If you remember when this all started.
Wait. Former
secretary, the current Secretary of State.
Oh! Oh, shit. He knows, bro. He knows. What does he know? Brian, why did you do that? Oh, busted, dude. Busted. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to the United States of America. They're calling it Leak Hegseth. My goat. He's under a lot of fire. Why is he under a lot of fire? As I said already, he just likes to send text messages. Didn't know that was illegal. Okay. Kind of weird that people don't like that he likes to go on booze cruises and send state secrets to whoever will listen. People without security clearances, specifically. I think that's f***ed up. I think he should be able to do that.
Calls for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to resign after sources told ABC that he shared details of a U.S. attack plan on Yemen in another group chat that included his wife and brother. Our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, has the latest for us. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Robin. This morning, Pete Hegseth is brushing aside these new allegations. But if anyone in uniform had sent operational details to family members, they would likely be fired. Although, as of now, the president is defending Hegseth. This morning, President Trump is publicly standing by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth amid growing calls for his resignation.
Pete's doing a great job. Everybody's happy with him.
Just weeks after revelations that Hegseth sent highly sensitive military attack plans to administration officials on the commercial app Signal, sources now say Hegseth shared some of the same sensitive attack plans with his wife Jennifer and others on a separate Signal chain.
Okay, but I said this yesterday too, but like, his wife is also a Fox News producer, so in his mind, he thought she's qualified. Considering that his qualifications were also that he was a Fox News producer to become the defense secretary, like his wife could get a little bit of that action too, you know what I mean?
That he created. The Signal chat he shared with his wife, a former Fox News producer, included launch plans of F-18 fighter jets attacking Yemen, according to sources. Hegseth has also been under scrutiny for allowing Jennifer Hegseth into some meetings with foreign dignitaries. But Hegseth denying he did anything wrong.
We're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter.
This comes after a week of chaos at the Pentagon, with some of Hegseth's own top aides escorted out of the building after a leak investigation. The aides to the press. One of those top advisors, Dan Caldwell, telling Tucker Carlson,
and we had people who had personal vendettas against us.
Yes,
and I think they weaponized the investigation against us.
And pushback on the Hill is coming as well. Republican Congressman Don Bacon, who serves on the House Armed Services, saying, I'm not going to tell the White House how to manage this, but I find it unacceptable, and I wouldn't tolerate it if I was in charge. Congressman Bacon is the first sitting Republican to publicly criticize Hegseth, suggesting President Trump should fire the defense secretary. As for the leak investigation, these are not random top aides who were fired. They are senior advisors Hegseth himself brought into the Pentagon.
Wait, maybe they were DEI? Guys, maybe Pete Hegseth accidentally brought in top-level executives to the Pentagon, but like didn't realize that they were DEI? And that's why they're firing them. Potentially, maybe like DUI hires. Pete was like, what do you mean? I'm a DUI hire. Might as well bring in other DUI hires. And then everyone was like, you can't do that.
Why do you have confidence?
Because he's doing a great job. Right, Chef. Ask the Houthis how he's doing. Everybody's happy with him. We have the highest recruitment numbers.
Dude, this is the other thing. Like, I love when liberals are like, I hate Donald Trump, but his foreign policy is excellent. Like, what do you have the exact same foreign policy approach that Donald Trump has. Like you love that shit. You're a fan of all the stuff that he's doing. How'd that happen? Something to consider here.
I think they've had in.
Who says that? Every single liberal that yells at me and says, Hasan, you support the Houthis, you suck, you love terrorism. Every single liberal that says that is also incredibly angry and resentful, understandably, towards Donald Trump. But they agree with Donald Trump's foreign policy, I guess. They just hate the fact that, like, the thing that liberals hang on to about this Pete Hegseth stuff is the fact that they were having these conversations on Signal and were so stupid that they accidentally had an Atlantic reporter in the private chat. That's what they're mad about. They're mad about the incompetence. They're like, no, let's try this again. Did it work? Hello, hello, hello? Am I back? Dude, that was fucking weird. That was very weird. I don't know what happened. I got like straight up kicked off. I don't know what the audio is out of sync. Is it? It's not LA Internet chat. No, it's not. It's not LA Internet. No. It's not. This was something different because my internet was fine. I had to very quickly swap out of my, did they hijack your key? What? No. What are you talking about? What do you mean hijack my key? Yeah, YouTube ads played when you dropped because I fucking swapped it over. I swapped it over to the starting soon screen, and the starting soon screen has it automatically just plays lo-fi music in the background. The starting soon screen plays lo-fi hip hop on the background, and it's not logged into YouTube, so it just like plays ads sometimes. But what ended up happening was very strange right then and there. It was a very strange thing that took place. The secret memes one? No, that's just a BRB button. I have like a BRB ended. Wait, hold on. I have to do a quick troubleshooting real quick, but here, I'll just play this while I do this quick troubleshooting.
No, he's doing a great job. It's just fake news.
Well, that was President Trump doubling down on his support for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth 24 hours ago, denying a New York Times report about sharing sensitive information on another Signal chat called Team Huddle. Here to set the record straight himself, the current Secretary of State, Pete Hegseth, former host right here on Fox and Friends. Pete,
hey,
great
Brian.
To see you, Mr. Secretary.
Great to see you.
So your thoughts on what's been reporting of Team Huddle and the Signal chat that the New York Times says took place between you, your wife, and your brother, and some others.
So, Brian, if you remember when this all started.
Wait. Former
Secretary, the current Secretary of State.
Oh shit. He knows, bro. He knows. What does he know? Brian, why did you do that? Oh, busted, dude. Busted.
Team Huddle. Here to set the record straight himself, the current Secretary of State, Pete Hegseth, former host right here on Fox and Friends. Pete,
hey,
great
Brian.
To see you, Mr. Secretary.
Great to see you.
So your thoughts on what's been reporting of Team Huddle and the Signal chat took place between you, your wife, and your brother, and some others.
So, Brian, if you remember when this all started, the first go-around, because this is the second go-around, right? They peddle old stuff, they kick it back up. I said repeatedly, no one's texting war plans. You know why I said that? Because I'm in the bowels of the Pentagon every single day. Just 10 minutes ago, I was looking at actual war plans of things that were ongoing or pending things to happen. Because that's on a regular basis on classified systems. That's my job for the war fighters, for the President of the United States. I look at war plans every single day. What was shared over Signal, then and now, however you characterize it, was informal, unclassified coordinations for media coordination and other things. That's what I've said from the beginning. At the beginning, it was left-wing reporters from The Atlantic who got a hold of it and then wanted to create a problem for the president. This is what it's all about, trying to get at President Trump and his agenda. Now, here at the Defense Department, because, Brian, I want this to be very clear. We take the classification of information very important. It's very significant to us that we safeguard it. And so when we had leaks, which we have had here, we did a serious leak investigation. And through that leak investigation, unfortunately, we found some folks that we believe were not holding to the protocols that we hold dear here at the Defense Department. Through that investigation, they have been moved on, and that investigation continues. As a result of that, everything we do here is above board, trying to make sure that we safeguard information. In this point, those folks who were leaking, who have been pushed out of the building.
I feel like Batman or Halo. Thank you for the 7 gifted subs. A real warfighter in the chat. Mr. I feel like Batman or Halo. RIP to a real one.
Are now attempting to leak and sabotage the president's agenda and what we're doing. And that's unfortunate. It's not what I do. It's not how we operate. And so you've got...
Bro, there is something incredibly ironic about complaining about leakers when the reason why you're in trouble is because you seemingly have no interest in stopping the dissemination of classified intelligence to people who do not have a security clearance. Like, what do you mean? You're the whole ass leak, big dog, which I like. I personally like that.
Got another allegation being pushed again, not based on how we're operating around here. We're for the warfighters, we're for the president, and none of this is based in reality.
So, Mr. Secretary, I guess I can conclude this. We know some bizarre situation with Michael Waltz happened with the first time the whole thing with the Signal app came out. You believe this came out, they said it was called Team Huddle, because one of the people who work for you, one of the 3 who no longer are there, leaked this out as a way to get back at you?
That's right, Brian. When you dismiss people who you believe are...
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Like, what matters is why you are having these conversations with your fucking wife, dude, on your personal phone, on your private Signal app. What do you mean? Oh, I can't believe like a disgruntled former employee outed me. It's like, it's so stupid. This is not a defense of anything. Seamus had a funny take about this. He said, you really do get the impression that Hegseth fully expected to slip into the role of a respected Secretary of Defense, but instead he's still just him, an alcoholic Fox News host whose slip-ups are now under the magnifying glass of the entire world.
Leaking classified information. And again, the investigation is ongoing and that will take time. And when the evidence produced, it will go to DOJ.
He's like, yeah, I never believed in magic until I saw my dogs turn into snakes, dude. This is fucked up. You think you know a guy, and then you bring him into the Defense Department, and then he gets fired, and then he's disgruntled, and all of a sudden he's leaking all these secrets about me leaking state secrets, which, who's the bigger leaker here, Pete? You are.
DOJ, why would it surprise anybody, Brian, if those very same people keep leaking to the very same reporters whatever information they think they can have to try to sabotage the agenda of the president or the secretary? So once a leaker, always a leaker, often a leaker. And so
it does feel like he's talking about himself here. Given why he's even having this conversation is that he's leaking state secrets to people that should not be hearing state secrets. It almost feels like he's saying this is an admission where he's like, once a leaker, always a leaker. I'm not going to stop. I will never stop. Okay? Put a fucking fifth of whiskey in me and I'm going public. Okay? I'm telling you about Area 51. I'm telling you about our attack plans. I'm telling you Israel's got nukes. I'm telling it all. I'm unstoppable. This is what I like to do. Whiskey Pete. Leaky Whiskey Pete. That's what they call me.
We looked for leakers because we take it very seriously. And we will do the investigation. Right. And if those people are exonerated, fantastic. We don't think, based on what we understand, that it's going to be a good day for a number of those individuals because of what was found in the investigation. So if they want to keep leaking and pushing and peddling things that try to sabotage the president's agenda, that's unfortunate. But that's how leaking works in this town. We're focused on recruiting, on rooting out DEI, on securing our southwest border, on the president's agenda, and it's going very well at the Pentagon, and I'm proud of it.
Right. So the Signal app is what everyone uses. We're all finding that out now because of the Chinese have infected and sabotaged, gotten involved in almost every other communications apparatus over the last 4 years. So that's where you're communicating. You say it took place, but there was no classified material in it.
I think it's so funny because I know for a fact that Brian Kilmeade is more intelligent than Pete Hegseth. Now, this isn't saying much because Pete Hegseth is a fucking baboon, right? So I know for a fact that he's sitting there thinking, I cannot believe that the Trump administration got our weekend correspondent to become the Secretary of Defense. What the fuck were they thinking? Of course, this is going to be catastrophic. Like, remember, Pete Hegseth was the weekend correspondent for their fucking show. Okay? And now he is the Secretary of Defense. Like, you think they didn't know that he was unqualified? You think Brian Kill Myself, you think he doesn't know that Pete is unqualified for this position? He knows. He knows Pete is unqualified for even Sean Hannity's position at Fox News. Like, I wish you stopped talking about your ex so much. Brother, ridiculous assessment, don't you think? It's like, he apparently made another fucking video about me, this time calling me a Nazi, and one of his followers actually made its way through the mods to literally be like, why do you have a Nazi sword? Are you a Nazi? Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, go tell Ethan Klein that. What am I supposed to do? Not fucking defend against accusations that I'm a crypto Nazi? Come on.
The staff will let go. Did you let them go?
Brian, it was a result of an investigation ongoing at the Pentagon where we identified there was sufficient evidence, potentially, again, there's an investigation ongoing that will have to complete itself, sufficient evidence to believe that they or others near them were party to leaking. And then I have a statutory responsibility, Brian, if I believe that's the case, to ultimately ensure they no longer have access to that and that the investigation commences. There are a lot of ways to communicate in this building. I do it every day. I was just doing it this morning. Official channels by which we communicate classified information. If you want to do it and do it the right way, you should. If we think you are leaking to the press.
Who are you talking to? Are you talking to yourself, Pete? It's just so strange that it feels like he's talking about a totally separate guy who's the Secretary of Defense.
That's a very real problem. We take that very seriously at the Pentagon.
I don't understand. You're in trouble because you leaked, dumbass. The fuck do you mean? Oh, these other leakers are the real enemies of the state. Like, doesn't he realize that when he talks about this, it almost feels like he's talking about himself to the average person? Because to the average person, they don't give a fuck who actually was the one who went to the New York Times with the story. The average person goes, why is the Secretary of Defense communicating attack plans to his fucking wife on Signal? You're the OG leaker, big dog. It's way. Okay, I'll say it like this. If you had not done this thing, right, that you are in trouble for, and instead someone from the people that you hired went out and like released state secrets, I would still be on board with that. I love leaks, but I understand why you could at least entertain this position. Like, oh, it's really fucked up that this guy that I hired was a disgruntled former employee that turned around and like released state secrets to the fucking lying press or whatever, right? Like fake news media. Like that's. But you're the one who initially, like the entire point of contention here is that you leaked information. You leaked this information. So now whenever you talk about leakers and punishing them, it kind of feels like you're talking about yourself. Having said that, however, I do think that we are getting dumber and dumber.
Do one job. One job for the president and the American people. Secure the country. America first. Peace through strength. I don't have time for leakers. I don't have time for the hoax press that peddles old stories from disgruntled employees. We should be talking about the decimation of the Houthis, how we're pushing back the Chinese, how we have a new defense area at the southern border. Instead, disgruntled former employees are peddling things to try to save their ass.
Did you?
And ultimately, that's it's not going to work.
Mr. Secretary, did you find this out, or did they come to you? Because I know you know these guys. Like these are the guys you picked, especially Caldwell. And they worked for you for your previous job before you got over to Fox. And they said that they have not been asked to their phones. They weren't asked about communications. They didn't go through, they didn't take a polygraph. So why would they be let go and not be investigated?
Well, Brian, when there were a series of serious leaks at the Pentagon, which there were, Panama Canal plans, Elon Musk's visit, you name it, any number of things, and there's 4, 5, 6, 7 things. We said enough is enough. We're gonna launch a leak investigation, which we did, which was then handed over to OSI, which is the special investigators here at DOD. Right. Through that investigation, information was surfaced which created a responsibility to take action. That's how it works when you invest, when you actually investigate leaks, Brian. So it's easy to say, oh.
It doesn't feel like you do, because if you did, you would investigate your leaks, as in what you did. This doesn't make any sense. It's like, Brian, it takes a real leaky faucet to know when someone is a leaker, okay? That's why I, in this 5D chess move, accidentally sent text messages to my wife and my lawyer without security clearance about America's attack plans in Yemen. You understand? I had to become the leaker myself to understand what it takes, the depravity, to become a leaker of states' secrets. That's right. I am what you call a white hat leaker. I believe he's telling the truth about not knowing who the leaker is. Memory loss is common when you're blackout drunk after all. I love how fucking stupid. I think it's awesome that the Secretary of Defense is a dumbass who is going to keep doing shit like this, okay? It's great. I hope they don't fire him. I really, really hope they don't fire him. I hope he has a fresh stock of Fireball whiskey right next to his desk every day. Let's see where this goes. Have fun with it. Everything is fucked anyway. Everything is fucked up. You might as well enjoy the show. That's my analysis. That's my perspective. I think radical transparency is what Trump said he was going to do, and he is making the administration radically transparent. So transparent that this guy is going to come out and like live stream attack plans, you know? He'll be like, yeah, that's right. We're going to bomb Iran tomorrow. And here are the weapons that we're going to use. Here are the targets that we are going to be bombing. I don't know. Don't get mad at me. It's normal to say this stuff. Fuck you. Hayır.
Well, we asked everybody, and everybody said they're good. Or you can take it seriously and say, we don't think leaks are okay at this department. Right. So we're going to investigate. And when we investigate, we'll take it anywhere it leads. And unfortunately, Brian, to your point.
Hell, yeah, don't fight the Nazis or anything. Just sit by and let it all happen because it's a show. Americans deserve fascism. Brother, what are you talking about? What more can I do? What do you want me to do, man? Plot an officer's coup within the ranks of the military? Like, what are you talking about? Some things are outside of my power, okay? Not everything deserves a reaction. Sometimes you can just kick back and enjoy the show, okay? Remember that.
and again, if one or two of these guys is exonerated after an investigation, great. That's what investigations are. Seriously, it led to some unfortunate places, people I have known for quite some time, but it's not my job to protect them. It's my job to protect national security, the President of the United States, and let the investigation go where it is. So when that evidence is gathered sufficiently, and this has all happened very quickly, it will be handed over to DOJ, and those people will be prosecuted if necessary. The leakers know who they are, and we know over time the truth will be told, and we stand firm behind that. Leaking is not okay in national security policy, and we will stand behind that every day of the week.
It looks like Carol and Selnick intend to sue for wrongful termination. And again, they didn't ask to take a polygraph test. Do you know Joe Casper? Is he still your chief of staff? Is he leaving?
Oh, Joe's a great guy. He's a great American. He has done a fantastic job for us at the Defense Department, securing the southwest border, getting a beachhead here at the Pentagon. He's staying with us, going to be in a slightly different role, but he's not going anywhere, certainly not fired. You make changes over time. And we're grateful for everything Joe's done.
So, as you know, one of the people that left, he says he was not fired, he let go. Other people said he was fired. John Hewlett, a former Pentagon spokesperson, decided to put this in Politico and say, here's a quote, "It's been a month of total chaos at the Pentagon, from leaks of sensitive operational plans to mass firings. The dysfunctional, now a major distraction for the president, deserves better from his senior leadership. President Donald Trump has a strong record on holding his top officials to account. Given that, it's hard to see Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth remaining in his role for much longer." You know him. I know he was let go. He had a great idea to get rid of Jackie Robinson, being sarcastic, from the Pentagon. Your thoughts about that statement?
You think it can all just be incremental? No February Revolution? What do you mean? Even to get to that point, you have to incrementally move and organize. It doesn't happen spontaneously.
Anybody that knows John knows why we let him go. We did a lot of favors for John. He did some good work up front. then he was moved along and asked to move along. Now he's misrepresented a lot of things in the press. It's unfortunate. We did right by him. We tried to help. He's spinning it otherwise. It's too bad. It's politics, I guess.
Mr. Secretary, do you think you take this job, you come in with war experience and all your great background, do you think there's a lot of people who don't want you there, and there's some type of deep state forces that want to make sure you don't stay there?
They've come after me from day one, just like they've come after President Trump. I mean, I've gotten a fraction of what President Trump got in that first term. What he's endured is superhuman. It's not hard for me to do this job. I know exactly why I'm here. To bring warfighting and the warfighting ethos back to the Pentagon, to rip out the insidious ideologies and not compromise and not back down. To bring in new press voices into the Pentagon, which we've done, to reestablish standards and accountability, to not tolerate leakers, to 100% operational control of our border, to get rid of trans lunacy in the military. We haven't backed down. See, here's the thing. A lot of people come to Washington and they just play the game. And it's you punch their ticket and get along to go along. And, you know, start doing Meet the Press and going to the Council on Foreign Relations and spending time with all the...
Okay, this is a aesthetic note. I think he moves around way too much and emotes way too much when talking about supposedly serious issues. It just feels like he's done a bump before this combo took place. Maybe I'm wrong, okay? But it feels kind of weird that he's just like, yeah, you don't understand. Everything's fine. I'm not drunk. Brian, you know me, Brian. I was the weekend host. You need a hair of the dog when you wake up to combat the shakes, Brian. Well, what do you... That's normal. It's medicine. It's medicine. Medicine to me. You view-botting? Yeah, totally.
New cocktail sipping crowd. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because President Trump asked me to bring warfighting back to the Pentagon every single day. Right. That is our focus. And if people don't like it, they can come after me.
Rise up, bots in the chat.
I'm standing right here. The warfighters are behind us. Our enemies know they're on notice. Our allies know we're behind them. And that, in this dangerous world, for the American people, is what it's all about.
I've been on 2 bases over the last 2 months. They're overwhelmingly, anecdotally support for you. And they talked about recruiting going up. So I asked for official numbers. They are through the roof. Take a look at these numbers with the Army, Air Force, and Marines. You are up 108% in November, 119% in February, 108% after the election, 105% with the Navy. With the Marines, up 112%.